Hello, lovelies. This is Bunny Queen Gaming here. The greatly anticipated talk has arrived. What are stats, what they do, how to be a better Alex, and maybe for a few of you, how in the heck can we beat Oliver Foxworth? I'm not sure if we can achieve the last one, but my goal of this video is to share the collected knowledge of all our Alexes. Some of this info was shared by Oliver Foxworth, number one, the king of racing himself, on the Equinox Discord. He even made a racing sheet. I will put the URL in the description. Ash Wild, a longtime player of 1,000+ hours, also has shared some of the numbers in game. I have used this info to improve personally, so I wish to share this with you. Okay, the stats are riding and speed, endurance and fitness, control and agility, strength, and lastly, jumping. The chart on screen shows the stats and how they affect max speed, acceleration, turn rate, power, perfect jump, max stamina, and stamina recovery. I would like to make note that any horse can be a good racer, but some might excel in some races or events due to their varying stats. But with the Samuel hotfix, it is easier to upgrade gear to improve what they lack. I am not going to cover how to perfect every race, but I am going to share the importance of stats and how you should upgrade gear. This will vary depending on which horse you have, and they might need to be altered for some types of races or crown chases, but the numbers should still add up. It is important to add that these numbers are from fully maxed horses and Alex's, which is level 60. Alex can level up to 100, but she does not gain points. Before we get into the numbers, I want to quickly go over what the factors are, how the stats come together to affect your ability to ride. Max speed is overall the total speed that you can get. Acceleration is how quickly you change gait from a stop, so how quickly you will speed up. Turn rate is simply how easily you can turn. Power is a reduction of speed penalties when going uphill. This is very important in races that are uphill, and strength being important for your acceleration. Overall, it's a good stat to have. The perfect jump, it's the input area when you're in races and they have you jump something. It's the circle with the yellow and you want to get it perfect. Getting a perfect jump will give you a temporary, no stamina drain, and it also gives you some regen, depending on whether you got a perfect jump or not. This is affected by the agility and jump. Now, max stamina is just the total overall stamina. That's what allows you to sprint. And the stamina recovery is how quickly you will regain the stamina earned required to sprint again. Okay, now on to the numbers. The first ones we're going to cover are the riding, which is Alex, and speed, which is the horse. Totaled together, adding them both up, you want to equal 2,000. Next, you want to do fitness and endurance. You want the total of Alex and the given horse to be about a total of 1,005. I will go into more detail on this later. The next, strength. You should have at least 700, but depending on how you upgrade and the opinions of others and what races you're entering, they think you should have a lot higher, as much as possible. Now, I need to talk about agility and control. There is a little chart. Numbers are on the screen. This info came from Oliver's racing sheet. You're more than welcome to go and read it yourself. But the stats you will have as far as agility and control will vary by the horse you're on and what kind of race. I have found personally that 1,000 is a good average baseline for agility to have. The max you can have is 2,000. I personally have never had more than 1,300 on a given horse, so I am unsure how much more would be needed for some races, particularly ones like the Forest Weave that require a lot of control. Now, agility and control affect your turn ability at the same 50-50 rate. So, truthfully, it does not matter if the stats are on Alex or the horse. But when we discuss how to upgrade gear, you will find it is better to put the points on Alex, unless you're in a specialized race. I am not really super high on that particular leaderboard. I'm not 100% on the numbers to perfect that race. Now, as far as jumping goes, the jumping stat, currently there is no signs of it being of any real importance. This has been said by Oliver and others. You can experiment, however, it doesn't look like it's really needed. And it's what you want to try if you want to experiment. But from what I understand and what I've raced, it's not really needed. Now that the numbers are out there and out of the way, I want to discuss the best ways to put them on gear. This was shared by Oliver, Ash, and other writers. I am not going to disclose their users. I did not have their permission right before this video, but this is knowledge that was shared and put out there for all of us Alexes to use. Oliver even said himself that he loves to see people experimenting and trying for the leaderboard. He is happy when he sees people getting close, and he actually is excited to see us improve, get better, practice, and possibly even beat his high scores on the racing boards. I believe recently he was overtaken on 2 boards, and he was just tickled that we are improving as a group, and they don't want the stats or the basics of how to do the races to be a secret. Now, what you're all waiting for, the stats and how to upgrade them on gear. Right now, this is the best optimized way. This was shared, this was tried, and this is what I'm personally trying for and using. On Alex and your horse, you want to max the riding and speed. That's 1,000 on both. However, if you are riding, say, a slower horse, for example, the Frisian, which is slightly slower speed than the Warm Bloods, you can put the few extra points on riding instead. The example I was given was 1,015 on Alex and 990 on that particular Frisian. That does still work as long as you want to hit that 2,000. Going over the 2,000 doesn't do anything. You're just wasting slots. And a big part of how to upgrade your gear is not to waste slots on stuff you don't need. Now, next, when it comes to your horse, this doesn't matter which horse it is. Currently, the Arabians are not out, so we don't know their stats, but this applies to Dutch Warmbloods and the Frisians. You want to upgrade all the remaining slots that are not speed into strength on the horse's gear. This should easily get you over 700 and possibly even in the 800s. As far as Oliver and them concerned, you can't have enough. Now, we're going to discuss fitness. You want to put the fitness on Alex. You want to Only put the minimum required that Alex added with your horse. That's the fitness and endurance, that they equal the 1005. You want to use as few slots as needed to get that sweet spot just above 1000. If your horse has a high endurance, you may not need to use any slots for fitness. This is important because if you just stop at 1000 or slightly under, when you are sprinting, it will be slightly cut off sooner. You get the most of it by having it slightly above 1000. Now, with Samuel's hot fix, when you upgrade gear and you put stats on your gear, when you re-roll the stats, they will be 30, 35, or a 40. If you need some fitness and you just need to quickly roll it and you get a 30 and that's all you need, you don't have to go any further. You don't need to waste your money. You don't need to waste stats or slots because they're needed for other things. Now we're going to discuss how to handle control. What I was told and what works is you want to put control in any of the unused slots on Alex's gear. So if you don't need fitness, have it control. You don't really need to put stats in jumping, so that's not going to be getting in the way and hogging up slots. The issue that might arise is some CCs, or crown chases as they're known, and races, they may not need little to any fitness. So for races like the Forest Weave that I mentioned, you need a lot of agility or control. You may not get enough control with it just being on Alex. So if you can have a spare piece attack that you can swap out, you can give up fitness. And in the case of like Forest Weave, you could give up some speed to boost the agility to make yourself agile enough for that race. You can easily overshoot, go too wide, crash into a tree, get caught on the rocks near the end, and that can ruin your entire run, or if you're aiming for getting higher on the leaderboards. If you follow this guide, this should help you with the basics of the stats, what they do, and how to upgrade, and to improve as a racer. The gear and levels are only part of how to be a better racer and to score higher and to get the golds in the races. You need to practice, and in some cases, the races have shortcuts. Discovering these will also improve your overall abilities in the races and on the leaderboards. What's most important in the end is that you have fun. You don't need to be in the top 20 to be happy with yourself and to be happy with the game. We all come on and enjoy the game. We're all inclusive here. And the overall goal should just be to have fun. You should not be dependent on simply being the very, very best. We are competitive in a friendly way, and we welcome all people to come and join us and to try to score better on the races. You can tweak your settings. You can try to alter the gear. You can experiment. We all learn this information in part due to us experimenting with different stats and how they affect different races in different areas. You want to always keep your speed and riding and your strength. Agility, control only matters in certain cases. You don't need extremely high agility for for example, the lighthouse crown chase. But in cases like forest weave, you need a whole lot of it. And a lot of us do experiment with our stats and gear, hunting for the sweet spots on improving our races and our times and to do better overall. I'm not perfect. I think in all but two of my races, I am in the top 20s to 40s. Last time I checked, those other two races were the Rose delivery that's over by Old Williams Orchard. I think I'm closer to being in the top 100. And on Forest Weave, I think I was about 110 on that high scoreboard. Those are things I want to improve on. I want to really overall just improve on all of it. My gear is not perfect for this guide. I haven't been able to get all the rerolls on my gear at this time. I am going to show my starter Echo and my Black Frisian Calypso. They are both level 60. Their stats are what I'm currently using. They both are perfect in their riding and speed and fitness and endurance with the gear we're wearing. My starter Echo has 110 agility, and Calypso, with our gear, we have 980. For basic racing, this works. This would be an issue for a race or CC that needs more control. But at their current state, they got me into those leaderboards. And I know if you can get even close to my stats and you practice and you learn the races and you put in a little bit of time, you're going to see improvements. And I hope that for you. I hope to see you in the game. I hope to see you there. Maybe talk to you in chat. And overall, I just want us all to have fun and enjoy ourselves. I want to thank you for bearing with me and following me on this video. I know a lot of people were looking forward to it. Nora and even Rattle were excited that I was going to be trying to get back into posting videos. Some of you might be aware that I have been really sick on and off basically since October. I found out back in April that I have alpha-gal, and that basically for the last few months I was borderline anaphylactic from it. And I recently was diagnosed with asthma, and tests and stuff is still ongoing. I don't want to promise long-term a lot of videos, but I wanted to put out the basic information and like shorter videos about things about the game. I was working on the island rides. I had already got Five Sisters, Low Coast. High Coast is just waiting to upload. I actually halted on doing Sunset Lake to get this video out for you for the start of the new week so y'all could start preparing for it. Praise be my Alex's, praise be, and you have a good day.